So hey everyone, let's today take a look at this wonderful problem, and I will be doing it just the Google interview style. And this would be around something called sort colors. And the problem goes like this, and let's just understand the problem. Like we have three colors, red and white and blue, and we have it in an array where these colors just reoccur. So we can have something like, and I will just copy this. So this array could be having something like red, white, blue, but it would be like this in an unsorted manner where you can have white, blue, red, and all of this could be just repeating in any order. So we have something like uh, number of uh, items or colors that exist, and the question says like separate them. Like how can you get out of this? Like we have blue, white, blue, red, white, blue. So what's the solution to it? Like you can get red and maybe then all the whites. So we have white around two times, and we get all the blue. So we have blue one, two, three times, and we have white two times. Yeah. So I'll just copy this and here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 items. So just make sure that n, or the array length, is equal to 6, and we have something like white, blue, red that exist, and we need to like sort it, and this could be like in any order, any number. So we need to sort all the reds, then all the whites, and then all the blues. Yeah, sounds simple, right? So the interviewer at Google might be giving you something like this. Yeah, sort colors. He won't be giving you this Dutch flag. So it's called the Dutch flag problem, whereas we have these three colors that are being sorted. So that's how the name came. And it's a very classic problem that can be solved with uh, O of n, or a single loop complexity. But that is for later. The very first thing at interviews would be like, yeah, I saw this problem, and the interviewer could be telling you that, yeah, this is the kind of problem, and let's just do one thing. We can represent these by 0, 1, and 2. So I'm still stating the problem here, and this could represent red. So red. This could represent white, and last one, you guessed it right, this one is blue. So if I get something like an array with 0, 1, 2, let's say 1, 0, 1, 2, 0, anything, 2, 2, 1, then how can I turn this into 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, and I think I got them right. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did I miss something? Yeah, there has to be another 2 here. So this is how it goes. Like how can you make this? So if I were to give you this question, the very first thing that will come to your mind is, yeah, let's just sort it, right? So let's just say that the very first thing that you will write here would be, I'm going to think. That's what you will tell your recruiter, that let's take the time to think through this problem, because we have three colors and we need to sort it. And you will just talk aloud. Like the first thing that comes to my mind here is, what I can do is to sort the colors. I'm going to do something like dot sort, and take this array. Let's say this is defined by arr, and I'm still writing the pseudocode. So, and because this is JavaScript, so it would be much better if we do it like this, a minus b for ascending, because otherwise that would still work, but that would be like character code. So we can just do it with numbers like this. Yeah. So you would tell something like this. Yeah, because I do want to sort it, and I do want it in this order. So the very first thing I can think of is sorting, and maybe that would be n log n, depending on if it's quick sort, which is like something that JS uses, and merge sort in some context depending on the browser. So and the size of the array. So the thing is that this would work, but the recruiter would ask, and you would actually directly tell him that this exists, but I think that I can make a much better solution that still the complexity can be improved. Or you can just say it like this, that I feel that this might be a optimal solution, but maybe there could be a much better solution. You can ask him that, do you want me to improve, and be very honest about it. Even if you let's just say there are some occurrences where you know that the problem has optimization, but you don't want to say it just because you don't know the other optimization way, but still I would recommend you to just say it. Even if you are not able to get to the actual I would say algorithm that can solve it, you still have the I would say mindset that yeah, this could be optimized, and I think that is looked at a positive that is looked as positive in the interviews. So uh, this is a very classical problem, and the thing that we will do to sort it is uh, we would be checking in case the number, or let's say we will just take mid, and we would be checking if something is like greater than mid. So let's just assume that this mid refers to any element that I have, and let's just say for instance this refers to my zeroth element, so which could be anything. So I will just ask in my array that in case, and I will just sort it this way, in case this number mid is and all the elements that exist are like greater than mid or smaller than mid, and where to place them depending on if they are greater or not. So for instance, let's assume that we are going to have a start, which is like also the zeroth element, and an end, which is like the nth or the last element. So if there is an array of n size, so this is usually n minus 1, and we are going to see all the elements and segregate them. So let's just assume, for instance, to make it very simple, that my mid is 1, and let's just assume that there are zeros and there are twos that exist, and there are also ones that exist. So and this one is just an assumption, it could be 0 or 1 or 2, anything. But let's just say then I say that if my mid that exists, and if the array that I am going to loop across exists, and if I make a loop and I find or encounter a number that is smaller than mid, then I just send it to the former half of my array, and if the number is like equal to mid, then I just increase my mid by +1 and don't do anything. And if my number is like greater than mid, then I send it to the later half of my array and just decrease my end. So this is how you would be sorting it, and your mid, as you can see, will keep moving. So every time you would encounter a number which would be new, and every time you would be seeing that yeah, is it smaller, is it greater. And yeah, when you are swapping it with the start, which means that the start element would come at the front, and that would be something that would cause the start to increment, because and it will also cause the mid to increment. Yeah, so these are some of the basic understanding that you would need to, like, how you would sort it, and it would make much more sense when you trace it with the pen and paper. Yeah, that how am I sorting it. So without any further ado, when we have this much segregation and things clear, that you would tell the interviewer, they would ask you at a point, okay, so let's start coding it, and let's do that. So we have something like const sort, and because this is Google Docs, so one thing that we will do is we will just switch to consolas. It just is much better to read, and we would not care about if the number becomes like uppercase in the start, as the interviewers say. So we would say something like sort colors, and it would take something like an array, and let's just see that how we can sort this array in place, like not creating a new array and returning it, but just sort it. So we would have something like let start is equal to 0, let end is equal to 0, let mid is equal to, and yeah, let mid is equal to 0, let end is equal to arr dot length minus 1. After doing this much, what we will see is that we need to have something like a condition, like till when we are going to loop, and I know that this start would keep increasing and this mid would keep decreasing. So why not do something like till start is less than end, and we would just keep increasing it, just keep decreasing it. And the logic would be that we would keep doing it till my end and start meet, and by the time that they would meet, my colors or my numbers 0 1 2 would be sorted. And then let's make a, say that mid element or something like that. So switch ARR of mid. So what's my mid array? I'm going to ask it in a switch statement. So there would be like cases, right? And this is why I'm using switch, because there are like 3 cases that I already know of, and I'm just going to add break here. Like it would be either 0 1 or 2, and that's for sure, because that's like defined that I wouldn't be having any other thing. So I know that it could be a 0, I know that it could be a 1, I know that it could be a 2. In case of my 2, what I have to do is, and I'm just going to write a comment first, and what was that? So, and whenever we write comment, these are the things that recruiter loves, or the interviewer loves. Like comment could be done in green. So I would say that swap the mid with end element, because my mid is like greater than the end element. And if this happens, then I would say that swap the start with mid element. So my start is like my mid element is like smaller than my start, or at least that's the assumption here, that you can always place your zeros at the beginning, you can always place your 2s at the end, and in case it is 1, like just let it be like mid plus plus. So and let's just do that, because this is what we have here, and this would be like start plus plus mid plus plus, and this would be like n minus minus. And then I'm going to write anything that would take to have my sorting done. And I think that it is a bit easy to know that in JavaScript we can use something like destructuring. And let's do one more thing, because this is like let's just put the code in a different page so that all the code is like in a single view. And this looks much better. So just make sure that the interviewer sees everything at once. And then I would say that I would make a ARR start, ARR mid. And if you haven't seen destructuring, I would just give you a suggestion. Like let's say we have numbers like A and B, where let's say that A is equal to 10, B is equal to 5, B is equal to 5, yeah. And if I do something like AB is equal to BA, then those numbers would get swapped, because it says that make my AB and make my BA without having to use a third, let's say without using to have a third variable, which is like kind of very good. So just happen to explain those parts as well, like you know this, which is okay. So we have something like mid and start, and we would be just changing it to start and mid, and it would just make more sense when I trace it with a pen and paper, which I would be doing. So then I have something like mid and end, and I would be using like end and mid. And just first let's do one thing which I always love to do, is check it against ChatGPT, which is okay, and just see that if our solution was correct. So I would be asking check my code for sort colors, and let's just see. And before this, as I told you, you wouldn't be just directly writing the most feasible optimized solution. You would first be telling, I can use something like sort. I can just sort them, and I can get this and ask them, do you want to see the brute force approach, or do you want me to optimize? And usually the answer is they would want you to optimize with the better solution. Sort color seem to be aiming at the Dutch national flag, which is in place. Let's see. Well, mid is less than equal to end, rar mid plus plus and plus plus. we did one thing wrong because we are moving the mid element. This should be like, and mid is starting at 0. This should be like something with where mid is less than equal to n, this makes like much more sense because we are at the end of this. The start would be pointing towards the last 0, and the mid would be at the end, and the end would be at the mid. So it would be just coming back, and this would be increasing. And because we are moving the mid, this is like the right thing. And yeah, other than that, we did really well. Just make sure that once you have the logic correct, even if these small details are like missed, which is kind of where the interviewer will try to help you out. So just make sure that you are talking through it, because they are your friends. They are not someone like they would say something like, yeah, do I have a suggestion, like maybe we are moving the mid, so maybe this while statement you can just take a look at it, and you would be tracing it, so it would just make more sense, which is like, yeah, I have this, and let's just do one thing, trace it. Yeah, so I have my mid here, my start here, and I have my end here, and I'm going to ask that, yeah, which is my mid right now. My mid is 0, so case 0 says that swap the mid and the start, which in case would do nothing because the start and the mid are at the same position, but it would increment the mid and the start to 1. So these two would get incremented to here, and the end would just stay here, and this 0 would be just in place as it is. The next thing that you would see is the next element is like 1, so mid would just go one level up. Mid would be like mid plus plus, and just because I can just write them in different lines, so mid plus plus would be like somewhere near the 2, and yeah, so you have the start here, you have the mid here, and you have the end, which is at the end. And I'm just do one more thing, yeah, just write it in a different line so that I can have, yeah, all of them separate. So my end points to this one, my start points to this one, my mid is here. And then I would be asking, yeah, my case is 2, so my mid and end could be, elements could be swapped, and that would say that, yeah, bring the 1 here, that belongs here, bring the 2 at the end, that's a bigger element, that should always go to the end and get segregated. And I think that this would just start to make sense, and the end should just go minus minus here. And then I would just again go back to my case and have this mid at 1, that says just push forward, don't worry about it, and again 1, so just push forward, and this would be now 2. So case 2 says that, yeah, just swap it where the end element is. That would make a swap between 2 and 2, which means that essentially this would be swapped with 2, which would be nothing but the same thing, and the 2 where we have this end here, and it would be asking us again like make a swap. Mid won't be moving, and the end would move here to 0. Again we would go, it would be asking us to make a swap between the end and the mid, and this would make 0 come here, and our end would become the 0, and 2 would be swapped, so our end would become 2 and our 0 would be here. And this is starting to make sense now, right? Because we have all the 2's here, and the end pointer is now coming back, and the mid is here. So again we would go back, and our case would be 0, where it would be asking us, yeah, with 0 what we do, we swap the start and the first, and our start and first are now swapped, and this would be causing us to move the start by +1 and the mid by +1, and we would be doing this till the time we reach the end. I have seen that the array is already sorted, but we would be doing a few more instances, just that it is to check that if the array is sorted or not. We would be going to case 2 always, and that would be causing our mid to go back till the time we have mid is less than equal to end. And right now mid is not greater than end, but for the next instance, as we make the end smaller, this condition would cause us to break, and we would be getting our swapped array as we wanted. Yeah, it's O of n. So yeah, we have done the proper solution with the help of the Dutch national flag, and we have made it in a way that we are able to bring out our thoughts to execute them, and we were able to showcase like what's our thinking on every step. Finally, we were able to challenge ourselves with a simple dry run, and yeah, here we go. This was all about the sort colors. I will see you on the next one. See ya.